I did like was what the Washington Wizards did, man. They first acquired Trae Young. They got basically just 2 picks for Trae Young, and then out of nowhere, they go and get Anthony Davis to pair him up next to him. That trade was pretty damn awesome. They sent away Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malik Brahman, Marvin Bagley III, 2 future first round picks, 3 future second round picks, and in return they get Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, which seems to be like D'Angelo Russell is going to any team that Anthony Davis goes to. I don't know what the hell is wrong with that. And Dante Exum. I think Washington really won this trade, man. D'Lo, yeah, he's very inconsistent at times, but he can do work from time to time. Dante Exum was a guy who thought he was going to come out and be a straight shooter, put up points, at least 15 points per game. Maybe the Wizards can turn him into that, but I think it has to do with a lot of coaching. So that might be just a wasteful pickup there. But Anthony Davis, of course, man, you pair him next to Trae Young, where Trae Young loves to give assists, obviously score at will as well. Let's see, man. If they're able to play together this season, I think they can make a play-in spot. But I think the Wizards are going to try to sit out Anthony Davis for sure. Maybe Trae Young is only going to be playing a certain amount of games, and they'll wait till next season to try to actually get this train rolling in Washington.
Well, I'm going to go in the opposite direction of it. And obviously, I'm a Mavs fan. And it's just at this point in time now, we are literally looking at like we basically got rid of Luka Doncic for free pretty much and gotten not much back in return for it. I mean, for Anthony Davis, all those picks, everything that was included in that trade, that should have been a Luka style trade. You should have got multiple picks, and instead you ended up with Christie. You ended up with, I believe they only had like 1 first-round pick, if they even got that, and like a second, and Anthony Davis, who basically played about 15 games for the Mavs, somewhere in there. So essentially, when this is all said and done, Dallas got rid of Luka Doncic for essentially nothing. Now you can say that, but it also worked out in their favor that they ended up getting Cooper Flagg, which I think is the real deal. And it's going to be interesting to see him going forward, so they can maybe start rebuilding around Cooper Flagg, which seems like a pretty good team player. But it's interesting also what Washington did in this situation is because they also have their other big guy and Scar, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, the French guy that came out a couple of years ago that was like their number 1 pick. So now they're almost going to run the same thing that Dallas was trying to do with Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and Cooper Flagg whenever he was there. They're going to have Trae Young, the guard, and have 2 bigger guys. It's going to be interesting to see how it works out for him. It would have been nice to see Anthony Davis at full strength with Cooper Flagg, and then maybe when Kyrie came back. As a Mavs fan, that would have been kind of cool to really see. It just never really got a chance to come to fruition. So I'm really disappointed in what happened in that situation and how it all played out, especially that we basically rented Anthony Davis for 1 good game, the first game he played, and then he got hurt in that process too. And instead, you got rid of your star player who the fans are still pissed that he's not there and is balling out of his mind for the Lakers. I do like the fact we got Cooper Flagg, and I think you can build around Cooper Flagg a lot more than you can build around Luka Doncic. But ergo, you just don't necessarily give up that guy for him. So that's what hurts the most out of it. I think Washington is trying to make some moves besides being, we were joking off the air, a purgatory franchise because they haven't been relevant in years and years. So they're trying to make some moves and trying to do that. The rumor was that they were making these moves, trying to show that to Trae Young that we are serious about trying to go for it maybe next year. So it was good for them that they made these moves. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work out for Washington. Considering that they haven't been that good for that long, it'd be good for them. It'd be nice to see them kind of rebuild off this thing. But having Anthony Davis, who's constantly hurt, and Trae Young, who I don't know. I just don't see him being the answer to your winning problems, if you will. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that one?
I think it's a recipe for success, man. I mean, if Trae Young sits and Anthony Davis sit, that means that they're not going to probably make a playing spot. So that means that they'll probably have a top 10 pick in the draft. They get a top 10 pick in the draft, where this year's draft is very, very good, man. They could get a great, decent pick to pair up, next to Trae Young, Anthony Davis, Alexander Sarr. I mean, Keyshawn George is pretty good too. You bring in another guard that can score at will, or a dude to come off the bench that could be a 6-man. to score well and run the offense as well, just like Trae Young, man. It's a good recipe for success, especially in the East. In the East, it's not like every single team is disgusting. It's only a few teams up there that that can really fight for a championship banner. But I don't know, man. I like their chances on how they're moving forward. Trae Young and Anthony Davis are great pieces to start off. Alexander Sarr, he's an up and comer, and he really puts in a lot of effort to try to be great. I think he can be. Having another top 10 pick in the draft this season that can just help them even more. I like the chance of the Wizards going from very sucky to almost at least decent in the East.
Play-in level at least. Pretty much after
sixth spot. Who knows? It depends. It depends on these other teams match up.